Action.
Yeah, you recording the thing?
All right, perfect.
All right. Well, James by Percival Everett. I'm here, Wade McCormick, with two co-podcasters today.
Yep. I'm Cole Lewis.
Where are you from, Cole?
I'm from Hendersonville, North Carolina. I'm one of the co-podcasters for this podcast today with, of course, Wade and...
Yeah, I'm Costas. I'm from Asheville, and yeah, today we're gonna be discussing James by Percival Everett.
First of all, first thoughts on the book. Like, how did y'all feel about it? Because usually, you know, when I get a summer reading book, I get it assigned. I'm like, I'm not sure I want to read that, you know. So I'm reading the first couple chapters, and I'm like, okay, this is all right, but it's kind of what you expect out of a summer reading book. But as I kept reading, I felt like I actually like really enjoyed the book way more than I thought I was going to, especially with a summer reading book that was assigned by an English teacher.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I know Dr. Simrel, he assigns bangers. So I was like kind of expecting it, but I knew that, you know, summer reading books are usually pretty boring. I'm in the same boat. I read like the first couple chapters and I'm like, all right, I don't need to read the rest. I could just, you know, make up stuff in class. But after I read the first couple chapters of James, I was hooked. I was reading like, you know, 50 pages a day or a night, and it was a great time telling my family about it and everything. So, yeah.
I agree. Yeah, like normally I hate reading books. That's my least favorite activity to do, and I didn't mind reading it. Like after I finished a chapter, I'd be like, you know what? I'll just knock another one out. This isn't bad.
Definitely. That being said, what is y'all's kind of like when you go back to the book? You know, when we have to go back and review the book, what's your kind of big scene that you look back to and you're like, wow, like that is this scene like that you really gravitate towards. You keep reading because it's just so good.
Yeah. I think I really like the moment where he gets to Illinois and then he meets like, you know, young George and all of them, and then realizes that he thinks he's free because he's in the North. He's in the North in quotation marks, but he's not really free. So it's kind of like an oh crap moment. And so I was just like, whenever I read it, I was like, it's like, wow, man, that's crazy. Cause it's like, it's just a moment where James realized that he's not even, you know, he thinks he's made it across the finish line, but he hasn't really. So what do y'all think?
I mean, yeah, I was going to say the exact one. I mean, like, you know, for James, he's made it to the North. You know, the North is kind of signified as like, you know, that is where slavery is like just, it's a no-go, right? Like he's done it. Like he's finally made it. But, you know, with the Fugitive Slave Act coming into play, slaves that have, you know, escaped north, it's not over. Like they can still be captured at any moment, sent right back. And, you know, he suffers these consequences of terrible things, you know, beatings, lashings, you know, even death. So, and what might happen to his family as well.
Exactly.
You know, like it's kind of just crazy to even think about like all that work that he put in. It's not even done. Like he's still on the run, even at the end of the book.
And it could be for nothing too. Like what you said about his family is like his family's on the line, his life is on the line, the people he's helped's life is on the line. Like if you read the book, spoilers, is like young George, for example, it's like he's putting not just his life on the line, but everybody else's life on the line for, you know, such a risky journey. I think that's one thing about the book that makes it exciting. So yeah.
All right. So I think personally, there's kind of these scenes as well that I think kind of age the best or kind of make me feel like, wow, like that is still like, that's a banger. That's a banger line. It's a banger scene. It's just perfect in every way. Like as I keep reading it, as I keep coming back to it, it just gets better and better. Like what would you say, Tino, for you is like kind of the scene that really just you keep coming back to?
I wouldn't say a specific scene. I'd say just Jim leaving at all in the whole book, like just really watching him like change the way he thinks about things, the way he executes his actions. You know, he went before beginning of the book, he would be like more cautious, you know, not come into contact with anybody. But at the end, you see him strangling Overseer Hopkins, you know, and taking, is that what you call him, Judge Thatcher?
Yes.
On the boat, you know, stealing from his library. And yeah, that shift was just like really entertaining for me.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, especially, you know, you talked about him taking Judge Thatcher out on the boat, and he just kind of goes on this like rant of like, look at all the stuff you've done to me, and now you're the one complaining because I'm holding you hostage to do one simple thing for me, and it's just tell me where my family is. You know, he's done all this to get back to his family, and like, you know, he says, you know, kind of the line of like, I have gone through, you know, hell and back just to be in this position where you're the one telling me that you're the one with the problem. Like, he's just kind of gone rogue. Like he's completely separated. Yeah, he's completely separated himself from like everybody else, from who he was at the beginning of the book, in the middle with, you know, Norman and all that. Like now he is his own person. You know, we talk about personal autonomy and all that, and I think he kind of finally finds like who he is, and he's a warrior. I mean, he literally
100%.
To even have the mental strength to like do all of this is absolutely insane. And the fact that he's basically done it by himself, and the only thing keeping him going is just the thought that his family's still alive. He doesn't even know if they're still alive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would agree. It's insane. I also think the moment with Judge Thatcher and Overseer Hopkins is kind of I feel like there's a sense of freedom in that moment. He's always been limited by like the limits of slavery. You know, he always has to talk with the voice, and then he can't like buy food or buy his family or whatever. He can't do a lot of things because he's a slave. And I think there's a sense of power and freedom whenever he finally went to get his family and took over.
I agree. Like it even says it explicitly while he's strangling Overseer Hopkins. He says the best part about this is that I don't care anymore. So.
Yeah.
Definitely. I wish like the scene that you're talking about with Judge Thatcher got more airtime. I know it got a decent amount of kind of run, but I felt like, they could have shadowed way more on that, and like how Judge Thatcher kind of felt all about it. Like the mind shift, or like maybe even had a chapter where they shift the focus. I was talking to Tino about this the other day, but where they kind of shift the focus onto maybe Judge Thatcher's character, narrate it from Judge Thatcher's view, and how he views Jim as this, someone he is kind of seen as just another slave, and now he's like someone who he is genuinely, afraid of what he might do, even though, he's coming from a position of power that is much less than what Jim, or what Judge Thatcher has. Like Judge Thatcher has all the power, Jim has none, because Judge Thatcher's white.
Yeah.
But now Judge Thatcher's put in this position to where he is now the one that is begging for mercy, begging to not be shot by Jim. And he even says like, oh, like, you won't shoot me, but he knows deep down, like if he has to, Jim has done enough. I mean, he strangled Overseer Hopkins. He'll do it. Like he says it. I mean, he doesn't care. He doesn't care anymore. Like he's done with it. I think that is for me like a scene that I wish got way more airtime at the end of the book. What about you, Cole?
I would agree. I agree with that. For scenes that I would like more for scenes that got more airtime. I would like more of, more of a journey with the minstrels. I feel like they could have done a lot with that, like more trips around the country. Kind of like it's like an alternative to where James could be going to, like, Jackson, Mississippi, and having to do it there, or like New Orleans, or like major cities in the South, like Birmingham, Alabama. So he's like, a part of his journey was going north, and he tried to go north to be free, but then also he has to like go, and there's like not a full complete path, but it's like all over the place.
Right.
I kind of wish that would have been quite wild to. Quite wild part of the book.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of wish we like focused on like him in other cities, if that makes sense. Like him interacting with the people in those cities specifically. Like, just kind of him, like what his just a simple day was like in Birmingham compared to farther up north, closer, like how his interactions kind of worked. Did he have to code switch more or less, like around the minstrels, like compared to when he's, just around everyday, white people? How would that work?
Yeah, that would be crazy.
I also, Tina and I kind of touched on this as well when we were kind of creating this. But what if, what if someone different had written this? Like, what would that look like? I think a lot of people defaulted to this, but we asked, what would Mark Twain think of this? Like, what if he could, look at a couple chapters, read maybe just a couple scenes, like what would he think of how his original interpretation of Huckleberry Finn, like how that would look under the gaze of Jim?
Yeah. I feel like this is a harder question for me to answer, considering I haven't read Huckleberry Finn, which is next on my list for sure. I need to read it, especially after reading James. I think there's just a shock. I think there's just a shock factor in general. I feel like if Mark Twain read a couple scenes, he'd be like, he'd just be amazed. He'd be in awe of like what Percival Everett has done with the book and everything. And I think he would just be overall like, I don't think he would want to change anything. Maybe you would change the perception of Huckleberry Finn if you read James first, or maybe even if you have read it second. But I feel like he would just be, grateful for James, because I feel like James enhances the story of Huckleberry Finn, even though I haven't read it. So it's, the people out there that has read it, then they can judge better. What do y'all think?
I'm almost kind of left to wonder if, like because of the tone of the book. I mean, I haven't read Huckleberry Finn either, but I'm wondering if I read Huckleberry Finn, is it more lighthearted? You know what I mean? Like, is it more, because obviously, slavery's not a subject where you can really throw on a lot of like jokes or funny moments. But I think Percival Everett, like, I think to keep his readers, like, even just quote unquote entertained, like, I feel like every book needs a couple moments in there where it's like, oh, that's kind of funny. Like, that's what are those moments for you that you feel like James is like, kind of surprises you with its humor, like including any sort of melodramatic moments or anything like that? Like, what is your personal favorite?
Do you have anything on this?
One thing that I thought about was when the white people were mocking the cakewalk that black people were doing, and it's like when James said it was double irony, like the cakewalk was invented by slaves in a pre-Civil War America, and it was created to mock the ballroom dances, of the white people, and then white people are making fun of them doing it, so they're like making fun of themselves. So that was the major one I thought about. I don't know what you guys thought about, but that's my opinion.
The ones I thought about real quickly is the moments where he would talk to those philosophers like Locke and all of them, Montesquieu, or Voltaire, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just those are such crucial moments because it's like in reality it's like him dreaming, so he's having conversations with them, but really himself on like ways he should think of things. But it's just hilarious that John Locke popped out of the middle of nowhere and started spitting bars about philosophy to James.
Right. Yeah.
It's just
Definitely. I think for me personally, I really enjoyed the scene where the white man goes up to James, and he's James is wearing his wig, and he has the blackface on, and the white man says, he goes, he looks so real, like he doesn't, I can't even believe he's white. And it's just like, there's kind of this moment of like, well, Jim he's a black man. Like, that's how, like, they are not paying attention at all. Like, they don't care. They're just there to watch the minstrel show. Like, it's just kind of this funny moment of like, well, yeah, I mean, Jim is black. Like, of course he looks real. But, obviously white man doesn't notice it, and he's safe from any sort of confrontation, because if Jim's found out as being a black man, that
it's not going to go
does
well.
not serve well. No, not at all.
Yeah, I get that.
I kind of want to go to a kind of a weird one. I always like to, whenever I read books, I kind of always imagine, like, is this more of like a TV show, or is this a movie? Like, you think this could this be a Netflix original?
Could be a really good show, I think.
You think so?
I really think.
I was actually going to say the opposite. I feel like I feel like TV shows. I feel like this James story just happened so quick that I would rather watch it as a movie personally. I feel like it, as a movie would keep you more entertained because it would just be like bang one thing, bang another thing, bang another thing, and then I feel like with the show you'll still get that, but it's more spread out. Therefore, I think it would end up being more boring.
Definitely.
Be like, oh, the book's way better. I don't get why anybody would ever watch the TV show, and so I
actually agree. Yeah, I think a movie would be good, especially with how many cliffhangers there are. Like,
but that
was actually my argument for the show.
If the show,
because like
if there is a show, like, look how many places you can just leave off on. Like
the boat, when the boat exploded,
he has to pick
Huck or Norman. You don't know until the next episode.
It just cuts. Like, you have to wait till next Wednesday,
or
that would suck.
That would suck. That would be pretty intense.
Another thing, like when he tells Huck, the last scene of that episode, tells Huck he's his father. That's a cliffhanger right there.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
There's like a lot of. I think this is a rare time, like, where both work really well. Like, exactly to your point, you talk about how there's so many moments, like, you would never get bored watching. Like, it's not hard to, like, draw it out, I guess. It's just, there's so many moments, but how long would the movie be? That's my, like, interpretation. How long would the movie be if Jim only could, if it was only a movie? It was like 2 hours, 2 hour and a half movie. Like, I don't think that does it enough justice. Almost, I feel like having like a 10, 30-minute episodes, like 10 episodes, and like, you get your kind of like a good 5 hour serving of like just the book. And I feel like that's what does it justice, because there's so many places you can leave off on cliffhangers, so many places where there's kind of this built up tension, and like, I feel like the book doesn't really drag much. Like, I always feel like there's always something going on. So for me, for a TV show, like, when I watch, like, for example, like Stranger Things, like, there's always something going on. Like, they're always fighting like some monster, even when it's like a kind of a dead episode. Like, they're still going for a goal. And I feel like there's like little moments in between, like him speaking to Voltaire with Huck, like, that's something that, like, I feel like kind of gets overshadowed almost by a movie. Like, having specific episodes where you can really appreciate like the smaller scenes. Like, I feel like that's where I'm coming from on that point. So I would say
I agree.
TV show. But I would not be opposed to a movie either. I think there should definitely be, like, I would love a live action interpretation. That would be awesome. I mean, there's of the hero's journey. There's the Odyssey's coming out next summer, which I'm definitely gonna have to go see.
100%. Theaters too.
Yeah, that's going to be
excited for it.
really cool.
But yeah, also maybe, just an idea. I don't know what y'all think about this, but maybe with the TV show, after that they could do they can continue it with more adventures of Huck Finn. And so I guess it would be more creative because it's not actually Mark Twain's version. But if you do have everything from James, have James tell Huck that he's his father, and then after James's story ends, in quotation marks, because he's still alive, of course. I mean, according to the book, you could do Huck Finn's, more adventures of Huck Finn after, and I feel like that'd be an engaging TV show.
I think for a TV show, even another benefit of it would be one episode could be about Jim, but you could almost mesh Huckleberry Finn and James. One episode could be about Jim, and then the other one could be about Huck. When Huck. Or when Jim was just waiting on the island for Huck to receive news about his family, we could see, instead of just seeing Jim just sit on an island doing nothing, that could be an episode where Huck, we're just seeing who he's talking to, what he's figuring out.
Right, and I think I was even thinking what if you do make a spinoff, if you will, what if you go 20 years forward in time, or 10 years forward, Huck's finally grown up. Does him knowing that Jim is his father, does that change his perception on slavery? Does he go against his father and his mother? How does that work? And maybe you show Huck's journey of trying to find Jim, because obviously Jim's going to go off the grid pretty quickly. I mean, we know that's probably going to happen. Even though even though the book cuts off right before, and I feel like it'd be really cool to see Huck kind of make this almost similar path that Jim had to go through to get out, and what that would kind of look like, just for him finding him and what their interaction upon meeting for the first time would be.
That would be pretty sick.
If there's anything you could nitpick about the book, stuff you just. Even little things that you when you read it, you're oh, that's okay, well, that didn't really make sense, or
it's whatever.
Yeah, it's that's not that really that interesting. Why they add that, or
Yeah. I'm not sure 100%.
I got one.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was I wouldn't say I didn't like it, but something that I didn't think made any sense to be in the book was when he was just wrestling the catfish. I don't really get that had nothing to do with him going to find his family or something,
Just kind of an add-on.
Yeah, I guess it was just kind of
the book longer for no reason.
I don't know if Percival Everett thought the book was getting a little dry and just need action.
Well, yeah, I mean,
really quick.
Definitely. I think that it's interesting because
I thought it was kind of random.
It kind of leads into almost why this kind of biggest stretch, what are we kind of looking at that's that's not really realistic. And I feel when I was kind of reading the book, I was holy crap, this dude's insane. He must be peak human.
Yeah.
So physique to be able to
to be able to times and then run
right, yeah, and then
right,
yeah, and he just is able to achieve all these incredible feats and get out of crap so many times, over and over and over again. I'm reading the book and I'm wow, this dude's I don't want to say he's lucky, but almost holy crap, look how
luck's on his side.
Yeah, look how many times he's had to get a little bit lucky just to get out of a situation, just even the littlest things.
Almost the whole book.
Yeah.
And
it really was.
Yeah, I mean,
so many situations where he had to escape.
And that's not even really to take away from what James did. I mean, obviously, what Jim did was unreal. What he's been able to do and escaping, that's insane. But think about how many times he had to get so lucky just to barely, he was so close so many times to putting himself in a position where he was easily gonna he was gonna die.
It was over.
It's insane. Even some little things like the catfish, it's just another thing that they added in there to show
What are the chances of him catching? 30 pound fish
let's
with
just
his hand, not even with a rod.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he could now. like for what all he's done. I mean, he said it best when he said, he's run a couple miles after being whipped.
Like a Superman.
Yeah, which is
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Superman.
peak human performance. Like
It is
it's
peak. And then on top of all that, he can sing super well too. It's like,
yeah.
what does he not have?
He just randomly they're like, yeah, perfect tenor. So you're coming with us.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
they couldn't find, there's, I don't know if Daniel Decatur in it, he like found something in him, but like, I feel like he wouldn't be hard charged to find someone else, some other white guy. Like, then he must have been really pressed for time. Like,
Yeah.
there is no way that he couldn't find one other white guy that could sing in a decent tenor, like a good tenor.
I don't think that was the case though. I think it was just like
Stumbled across
in the heat of the moment.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think-
like they had just lost.
Yeah.
What was it? The tenor.
Yeah.
And they needed when they had a show coming up and like
Yeah, you can, but like,
But yeah, I know what you're saying.
he just got lucky a lot. And that's
He did.
pretty incredible for how many times he got lucky. But like,
The boat scene.
yeah, you gotta,
Henderson, where like they were shooting at him.
and you gotta look at like all those times, like when you read the book and you're like, what if it didn't go the other way? What if Jim died? Like what would happen? How would the book look if like Jim had died 3/4 of the way through the book? Like he finally died. Like what would that look like? Obviously, the whole book is centered around Jim, but like would we see like a shift to Huck almost like
Taking charge.
yeah, taking charge? Like would he be trying to like avenge Jim? Like would he go away from his father and try to like free all of the slaves back home, try and find the family of Jim, and like tell them what happened? Like what would that look like? I think that would be something that'd be pretty cool, even a spinoff show. Like
That would be really cool.
I always loved the what if books when I was little, like or like the I Survive books.
The I Survive books were fine.
They were good, like the Titanic or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I used to love the Choose Your Own Adventure books too, like the ones where you could like choose A or B and it would take you on like a
different path. Yeah, I agree.
Those were awesome. Like that would be. You never heard of those?
They even had some of those on Netflix.
There were
interactive.
yeah. You could do an interactive Netflix one, and you would like click on it. Just say like click to let this person go into the forest, or like click to not, and just like
It'd make me want to do like different combinations and choices. Just
you'd watch it back,
so
and
many
then
things can
you
happen.
notice different things, and then it let you choose like the right one. Like what would that look like? And I remember watching one where like I chose the same one back to back, and it was different. Like it was just a whole different scenario. Like something like that. Like it's such like a crazy pool of things we all talked about, but like an interactive TV show, Choose Your Own Adventure with Jim, like to help young kids learn about like crazy large topics, heavy topics like this. Like we're seeing it in today's society where like a lot of that in public schools is being like kind of knocked out, like where they're not really talking about it as much, and we're focusing on different stuff. So having stuff like that to really teach kids about the importance of slavery and what it was, and it's links that these people had to go through to even escape. Like there were not that many escapees. Like it was hard to get out, and like it's incredibly impressive that Jim even did that.
Yeah. I would agree 100%.
Like what would you say peaked here? Like in your opinion, like what was like peaked? What was peak?
I would definitely say Jim telling Huck that he's his father.
That was peak.
That was peak. Like it kind of reminded me of like Luke Skywalker.
Exactly. After I read it, I reread the line just to make sure like
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Because the weird thing is like you're kind of wondering throughout the book, like why does he have such like an attachment? Like this little white kid whose father like beats him,
Exactly.
Whose father like hates him, who takes him as a slave. Like why is he attached to this
explains everything.
random little? I mean, yeah, it kind of explains everything, but it's like so random. It's like it's even less random than kind of Star Wars. Like it's just like holy crap, like you're just not expecting it. Like,
No, not at all.
that's not the reason. I thought he was just, because he spent all this time, somehow Huck's just followed this dude around, and he's like, all right, well, I have kind of an obligation to like take care of this young kid. Like, if I were, his dad in that position, like I would not want to see, my kid die. So like, that humanity that's still left in Jim, and that kind of family centered mindset that he has, I just thought kind of just passed off to Huck, like just viewing him kind of as his own son. But like, I thought when he said he was his son, I thought he was saying it like, oh, he's just like, oh yeah, you're like a son to me. Like you're kind of like a son to me. Like,
Yeah.
but he's being totally legit. Like that was so interesting to see. And like nobody noticed that he was like white passing either. Like Huck is, darker skin than his family, and like I guess it never really clicked for him either. Which I think that's even
actually black.
wilder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd you say exactly kind of won the book?
I think the obvious question is James. James's family. They won. I mean, escaping slavery. I feel like at the time that they were at, there's like nothing for a slave. There's nothing better than you can do than escape it. So just after how lucky James was, after admitting to Huck that he was his father, after everything that James did, for him to escape with his family and be successful, like wow, I think he was the winner for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
You could change the ending. If you could change how the book ended, what would you change? Do you know? Kind of put you on the spot here, because we didn't really have that in the script. Like, asking Tina that, but like, what would you try to change? What would you be like? All right, what if
Good or bad too.
like what if
It's a bad ending.
Jim had realized, like, what if he got there and
His family's
dead? Like,
Yeah.
all that for,
Yeah.
like, what happens then? Because he's not.
I agree.
He's not
Like,
gonna
if I
back.
could change one thing, like I know it sounds bad. Like I was saying, I wish his family died, but I mean, I'd be really curious to see what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's gone through all that, all that trouble.
Because especially book 3. There's so much suspense.
Yeah.
It's a thriller, and then
And in that case, what if he if his family dies? What if does he go back to Huck? Does
Yeah.
he live
Right.
with Huck?
Right. Exactly. Like, does he try to go? Like, he's already made it this far. Like, is he just gonna say what he did early in the book? Like, you can't even hurt me anymore. Like,
just gonna go
what's
around
more?
killing
Like,
people.
What more is there to do? Like,
Exactly.
does he become kind of like a martyr almost for slavery? Like, look how much he's gone through. Like, does he start,
Yeah.
building himself up north, and like, or just going to the countryside and just chilling, laying low? Like, is that what he? Because I know that once he realizes if his family were to die, like, what do you do then? Because it's like you've worked all that time for what?
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. For nothing really. I think another cool ending would be what if he just whenever he got north to Illinois, what if he didn't stop? Like what if he went
he kept going?
into Canada and just not really necessarily said F my family, but like just went up there and lived up there and tried to make money. Could he come down and buy him? Would he just give up in general? Like, what would happen with that? So I feel like it'd also be interesting too, going back to the with the minstrels, just a different path.
Even
It'd be cool to see a different alternative.
something I even just thought of was, what if, like, when his family died, like if he decided to go fight in the war. Civil War.
Yeah, that would have been
right.
crazy.
Yeah.
And that's like, I mean, he kind of touches on it with Huck. He's, when he's walking with Huck, and they're, trying to, they're obviously escaping. Like, what if that didn't, like, really, what if his family did die? And like, he's kind of already touched on it. He doesn't like war. Like, he already said that. He thinks it's stupid. They're only going to war. The North he knows the North is only going to war because,
Trying to keep the country together.
they're trying to keep the country together, not because they care about
slavery, yeah.
black people.
Yeah.
Right. So they wouldn't, they would not be letting the Fugitive Slave Act really happen unless they cared about black people. So
Would agree.
I think I really liked what you talked about, like him trying to find work up north. Like what that would look like. He shows his intelligence a lot. What would y'all say kind of is like your biggest, the moment where you're like, wow, like Jim is a genius. Like this dude, he's also smart too.
You go.
Yeah, I'll go real quick because I don't think mine is much. But the moments in the passage, where it's like in italics, where his writing, his where he writes in the notebook for the first time. Being a native English speaker, and it's taken me forever to write something even semi-decent. And he just comes, straight out of like whatever, never writing before, and he goes and writes like an absolute banger piece of writing, a banger paragraph. Just immediately, like perfect grammar, perfect everything. And it's just so deep. And so it's just like with his writing skills, before he's ever written anything, or for writing for the first time, was insane. Something only a special person could do.
Mine's really similar to that. I was going to say when he's reading the books that he stole, and he wasn't even concerned necessarily about the context of them, but more about the structure, Just, he already knows what he's going to say, but how to make it as persuasive as he can, That was what I was going to say.
Yeah. Overall, like you take a look back at the book and you're kind of just like, wow, like that. I didn't think just a book called James. I knew it was obviously gonna be about a person, but I did not think it was gonna have that much kind of action. I didn't think I was gonna be, this interested in it as I am. And it's such a good book. And obviously, we're doing a version of our own kind of Re-Readables, and like this is one that I actually would reread. I don't really reread books. The only time I would really reread books is when I was rereading Diary of a Wimpy Kid when I got my phone taken when I was little. So
I would agree. Like
this is one of the rare books I would say that like I really have kind of found interest in, and I really thought like this is an incredibly well detailed. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it is.
Well executed.
100%.
I think I would like it more than even Huckleberry Finn. So that's why I know I would. That would be next on my list. It's just like compare the two. Like what are the different writing styles of Percival Everett? Like does he mirror the writing style of Mark Twain, or does he like kind of do the opposite? Like what does that look like? Is he more intensive than Huckleberry Finn? Like is Huckleberry Finn a little bit more lighthearted? It's kind of just showing that dark side of the book. Like that is something I would definitely want to see. But at the end of the day, like if you had to give the book a rating, like out of 1 out of 10, like 1, I did not enjoy the book, I hated it, let's read something different, let's move on, like, or 10, like what are you giving it?
I would say for a book, this is insanely high for me because, like I said at the very beginning, I hate reading. I'd honestly give it like an 8 out of 10. Like when I was reading it, I genuinely thought like I was imagining in my head like what we were discussing before, like it was like a show almost, just on paper.
Yeah, I would agree. I'll give it probably closer to a 9. It was so interesting. I feel like the one point where I kind of got annoyed with the book was the moments where they were speaking in that code. But that's just from a grammatical standpoint, and like from like I like to listen to the audiobook too whenever I read it. It helps me focus.
Yeah.
Not that I really needed it with James, but it gets to a point where it's like that voice kind of got annoying. But I see how it was necessary for the book. But yeah, outside of that, it was a banger for sure.
But yeah, definitely. Well, this has been fun, boys. I hope we get to do another episode soon. I'm Wade McCormick.
Uncle Lewis.
Costas.
This has been the Re-Readables.